Athey kids and parents. This weekend in Athey Kids, we're reading about Ruth. In the dark days of the judges, the story of Ruth shines with hope. During the rule of the judges of Israel, there was a time in the land when there was not enough food to eat. A man named Elimelech left Bethlehem in Judah and moved to the country of Moab. He took his wife and his 2 sons with him. His wife was named Naomi, and his 2 sons were named Mahlon and Chilion. The family traveled to Moab and lived there. Later, Naomi's husband, Elimelech, died. So only Naomi and her 2 sons were left. These 2 sons married women from Moab. The name of one wife was Orpah, and the name of the other wife was Ruth. Naomi and her sons lived in Moab about 10 years. Then Mahlon and Chilion also died, so Naomi was left alone without her husband or her 2 sons. Then Naomi heard that the Lord had taken care of his people. He had given food to them in Judah. So Naomi got ready to leave Moab and go back home. The wives of Naomi's sons also got ready to go with her. But Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, "Go back home, each of you go to your own mother's house. You have been very kind to me and to my sons who are now dead. I hope the Lord will also be kind to you in the same way." The women cried together. Then Orpah kissed Naomi goodbye, but Ruth held on to her. Naomi said, "Look, your sister-in-law is going back to her own people and her own gods. Go back with her." But Ruth said, "Don't ask me to leave you. Don't beg me not to follow you. Every place you go, I will go. Every place you live, I will live. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. And where you die, I will die. And there I will be buried. I ask the Lord to punish me terribly if I do not keep this promise. Only death will separate us." Naomi saw that Ruth had made up her mind to go with her. Now Naomi stopped arguing with her. Once they reached Judah, Ruth went to the fields. She followed the workers who were cutting the grain, and she gathered the grain that they had left behind. It just so happened that the field belonged to Boaz. He was a close relative from Elimelech's family. Then Boaz spoke to his servant, who was in charge of the workers. He asked, "Whose girl is that?" The servant answered, "She is the Moabite woman who came with Naomi from the country of Moab." Then Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter, stay here in my field to gather grain for yourself. Do not go to any other person's field. Continue following behind my women workers. Watch to see which fields they go to and follow them. I have warned the young men not to bother you. When you are thirsty, you may go and drink from the water jugs that the servants have filled." Then Ruth bowed low with her face to the ground. She said to Boaz, "I am a stranger. Why have you been so kind to notice me?" Boaz answered her, "I know all about the help you have given to Naomi, your mother-in-law. You helped her even after your husband died. You left your father and mother and your own country. You came to this nation where you did not know anyone. The Lord will reward you for all that you have done. You will be paid in full by the Lord, the God of Israel." Then Ruth said, "You are very kind to me, sir. You have said kind words to me, your servant. You have given me hope, and I am not even good enough to be one of your servants." Then Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, you must find a suitable home for you. Now Boaz is our close relative. Tonight, he will be working all the threshing floor. Go wash yourself and put on perfume. Change your clothes and go down to the threshing floor. But don't let him see you until he has finished eating and drinking. Then he will lie down. Watch him so you will know the place where he lies down. Go there and lift the cover off his feet and lie down. He will tell you what you should do." So Ruth went down to the threshing floor. She did all that her mother-in-law told her to do. About midnight, Boaz woke up suddenly and rolled over. He was startled. There was a woman lying near his feet. Boaz asked, "Who are you?" She said, "I am Ruth, your servant girl. Spread your cover over me because you are the one who is to take care of me." Then Boaz said, "The Lord bless you, my daughter. Your kindness to me is greater than the kindness you showed to Naomi in the beginning. You did look for a young man to marry, either rich or poor. Now I will do everything you ask. All the people in our town know you are a very good woman." Ruth went to the home of her mother-in-law. So Ruth told Naomi everything that Boaz did for her. Naomi answered, "Ruth, my daughter, wait until you hear what happens. Boaz will not rest until he has finished doing what he should do this day." So Boaz took Ruth and married her. The Lord let her become pregnant, and she gave birth to a son. The woman told Naomi, "Praise the Lord who gave you this grandson, and may he become famous in Israel. He will give you a new life, and he will take care of you in your old age. This happened because of your daughter-in-law. She loves you, and she is better for you than 7 sons. She has given birth to your grandson." Naomi took the boy, held him in her arms, and cared for him. They named him Obed. Obed was Jesse's father, and Jesse was the father of David. Although Naomi felt like God was against her, God used her troubles to bring Ruth back to Israel. Then God arranged what seemed like coincidence to draw Boaz into the story. Finally, God worked through the steadfast love of Naomi, Ruth, and Boaz to bless all 3 of them, beyond what they could have ever imagined. But even more than that, God worked through their faithful actions to preserve the line of the Messiah. Hope to see you this weekend, everybody. Bye.